Hi guys, my name is Fooms and you are welcome to another episode of Hope Builds a Spark. Yay! You guys, I really missed you so much. I hope you missed me too because I really missed you. I literally could not wait till Saturday to film so that I can see my sparkles and my sparkies during the week. That's real love. That's real love. I just could not wait. Because me and you and me, we are locked in. We love each other forever. Nothing is ever going to tear us apart. Guys, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be here again, honestly. And that's for my returning customers. If you are brand new, this is the first time me and you are seeing ourselves. My name is Foams, and this is where we build a brand new spark from scratch. This is for the people who are tired dreamers, late bloomers, people who are frustrated, people who have lost their spark to trauma, responsibilities, life. Hey, welcome. This is our home. This is our family. You are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome. Neighbors, returning customers, please welcome the brand new sparkles and sparkies. Tell them they are welcome. Talk to your neighbor and say, neighbor, you are welcome to Hope Builds a Spark. You guys, I'm so excited to be here. I hope you can tell. Keep the momentum up, you guys. Let's have your comments. The more unhinged, the better, because this is a safe space. I'm pretty unhinged, as you know. So don't be shy. Let's not shy for ourselves. Why shall we shy? You know what I mean? Let's just enjoy ourselves, you guys. Have fun and be our most free, authentic, unhinged selves. I really appreciate every comment I got. Every comment meant so much to me. Every reaction, every like. I'm so grateful, you guys. It has just been such a beautiful journey, and we haven't even started yet. So yeah, let's keep the momentum going. So guys, like I said last week, we are going to be exploring a couple of topics so that we can build a proper foundation before we set out to build a brand new spark from scratch. I'm going to be personalizing these topics as we go. I'm going to be personalizing my recommendations and my view on this topic so that it's not like as if I am advising you. I mean, it's not bad if I advise you wisdom in my knowledge like this. Like, what did Ira say? And it's not like as if I'm advising you, but it's not a bad thing if I advise you. To build a spark, the first thing I must do is know myself. Why is this important? You might ask. But even if you don't ask, I have answers and you would take them. Now, one of the things I realized about myself is that if you ask me who I truly am now, the only thing I know about myself is that I'm tired.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Every aspect of my interaction with the world outside me, every aspect of my life is so tainted by tiredness that I no longer know who I really am. I don't know what I really want out of life. I don't know what I really like outside tiredness. I have been so busy surviving, you guys, that I don't even know what I'm good at. I don't even know what I like to do for fun. I kid you not. My birthday is in 3 weeks, you guys, and all I am thinking of doing is sleeping with the comfort of knowing that there's money in my account and Sakpa is not going to be chasing me while I'm sleeping. Sakpa is not going to be holding my neck like a bow tie while I'm sleeping. And I'm just saying all of this to describe a state where all I think of is how to get by, how to survive. That I'm not even thinking of thriving or doing anything outside survival. You guys, I feel like a nylon bag that is just floating through time and space, and that's not very good. It's not very good, I'd say. I realized that one of the things that have heavily contributed to the fatigue that I'm currently feeling is that I've been performance. That's the feeling. Performance, right? I have been so busy performing that I have simply had no time to live without even realizing it. I performed the life of a survivor for so long that I lost track of who I really was outside survival mode. So when I now entered the basement of rock bottom and I wasn't being very good at surviving, you guys, my identity took a massive hit. Like, what do you mean you're a survivor who can barely survive? Make it make sense. Let me tell you about how my adult life has been thus far. I wake up, I fight through a grim atmosphere that is darkened by anxiety and fear and regret. And the funniest part is that these feelings are not my own. Oh. For context, I live in my family house in a slow and dull city under very interesting circumstances. So the fights that I fight, first of all, when I wake up in the morning, is for the right to stay positive, even though I'm surrounded by so much negativity. Oh my goodness. As I'm not fighting the atmosphere, just for the basic right to stay positive, I also have to fight for a basic positivity that helps me survive another day of living through this circus that is Nigeria. With all the plenty bad news, you can't even scroll on social media. So much bad news that have become so normalized. And as if all of this wasn't enough, I also have to fight for a basic positivity that helps me overcome that thing within me that just wants me to stop striving, to just give up, and to give in to all the dysfunction around me. So I wake up, I find the atmosphere to gather enough strength to do what I have to do for the day, to survive Nigeria, to be a good first daughter, a good breadwinner, a good friend, a good sister, to show up at my job and be there for people despite all the things that I'm going through. Oh, in the middle of all of this, I also have to pay attention to my hygiene, my mental and physical health, my sustenance. I also have to do some form of exercise because my hormones have been wilding since I was 7. I recently battled gut health issues and sciatica, so I can't afford to let myself go more than this, right? I do all of this and then it is rinse and repeat. Tomorrow and the next day and the day after, it is a vicious cycle of simply just surviving. There is no room for creativity, ambition, or rest when the goal is survival. And when the cycle of survival continues long enough, you lose yourself. And that's what happened to me, right? That's exactly how I have found myself in this fatigue that has come with an identity crisis, where all I know about myself is that I'm a survivor who is barely surviving. It's horrible. So, my darlings, if I'm to have any shot at building a brand new spark from scratch, I must set out to discover and rediscover who I really am, away from tiredness, away from surviving, right? I'm making this distinction because I'm well aware that in the course of this entire journey, there are things I will discover about myself for the very first time. And in the course of this journey, there are things that I will remember. Things will finally make sense. Some things have been buried so deep that I've forgotten them. So yeah, discover and rediscover. If you're on this journey with me, this is a good time to bring out that stupid journal and jot things down. Now, I'm not setting out to know myself with the aim of gathering a complete knowledge of myself that will immediately solve all my problems and give me a permanent boost of confidence. If you are a new Pentecostal charismatic Christian in prophetic circles, you know exactly what I'm not talking about. Because there's a way we are taught about identity in these circles that is just borderline mental and delusional. There are so many of us, as a result of this type of teachings, there are so many of us who have lofty dreams of knowing who we are, especially spiritually, through supernatural means, because we think that simply knowing who we are is sufficient to arm us with the skills necessary to become. Please, me, I don't labor under such a delusion. If you want to know who you are, you have to put in the hard work. You have to do the work. You have to deconstruct yourself. You cannot rely on a supernatural form of revelation that immediately tells you, okay, this is who you are, this is what you should do. It makes no sense. Do this process with God and work hard. I understand that I am a human being existing in time and I'm subject to so many different variables which can influence or affect my existence and development as a person. So first of all, it is impossible for me at any given moment to know the entirety of who I really am, because by the grace of God, there's so much that I will yet become, there's so much that I will yet do. So I don't labor under the delusion that, oh, when I do this project, I will immediately know everything there is to know about myself. When I speak about knowing who I am, I'm describing a state of self-awareness that gives me an understanding of my past and my present, to the end that this understanding helps me shape a future that I will be proud of. A future that helps me accept my past and keeps me grounded in the present. In clearer terms, I am pursuing a state of self-awareness that comes from knowing who I currently am, where I am coming from, and how all of this is affecting me where I am now, in both the positive and the negative way, so that I can make better choices that will help me create a future that I will be proud of. And this is another thing. In those circles that I just spoke about, there's a delusional way they speak about identity that only factors the positives about you, that doesn't allow you to take accountability for who you are, especially when it is negative. That's not what I'm doing here. Because knowing who you are is not simply about knowing all the positive, inspiring, and empowering things that you are. It is also about knowing all the ways that you are problematic and toxic. It's about knowing all the ways that you are the villain in your story, in other people's story, etc. etc. So, to do this, I'm going to be asking myself so many questions, and I'm going to be as brutally honest in answering them as possible. Now, if you are on this journey with me, again, this is a great time to bring out that stupid journal and jot things down. Yes, I carried my beef for journals into this project. Come and bite me, come and fight me. No, that will not call joy for you. So, to do this, I will start with my past. I'm going to be exploring questions like, the goal with this set of questions is to explore my past, as I have explained, and try to dig and dig until I arrive at the root of my earliest memory of being, my earliest memory of being set up for the life I now live, whether it is by choice or by force. While exploring my past, for example, I realized so many things. I realized that I got so many things wrong just because of my socialization and my upbringing and the poor choices I made as a result of these factors. I will explain. One of the first things I got wrong was that I listened to the older generation and what they had to say about success and how life would unfold. My parents, for example, had an understanding of life that corresponded with their own unique and rough circumstances. And I'm not afraid to say that they, like many people in their generation, thought that their own short-sighted view of the world and how life would go was the universal standard that every expression of reality had to conform to. It was so horrible in my own case because my parents came from absolutely nothing. They came from the minority of the minority in every single aspect, and they had little to no exposure. I mean, imagine my daddy would say things like, oh, when you finish school, when you get married on your wedding day, I will gift you a brand new car. It came from good intentions or his own idea of good intentions. It wasn't malicious when he would say things like this because that's how people in their generation did things. But it did not occur to my daddy that a world was possible where I would work hard enough and earn money even before this society imposed landmarks. I could buy my own car as a single woman. I could buy my own car as a university student from working hard. It didn't occur to him. I remember when I started my first proper business, right? Before this, I used to work with him and my mom on their horticulture projects, and I'll get paid 4,000 naira, you guys, 4,000 Nigerian nairas for working 3 to 5 days under the hot sun, getting my hand dirty. And it wasn't a problem to them because that was their own idea of noble work. Noble work to them was work characterized by difficult labor and rewarded with a modest income. This was humility to them. Work extremely hard to prove that you are noble and hardworking, especially as a young girl, and earn so little to show for it, to show that you are not a greedy person. I mean, it was such a weird way to think, but that's where their generation is coming from. Ambition was viewed as greed and asheju, right? So when I started my own business, when I decided to start my business in uni, as a university student, I got hell for it from my daddy. I was discouraged and persecuted at every turn. So there wasn't really a point at the start of my business career where I set out to fully apply myself from a place of confidence and encouragement. That did not happen. Even the business became a thing of survival because I was doing business from a place of surviving projected and inherited myopia and fear. This is one way that my background socialized me into performing survival, even in a place where I was supposed to naturally thrive. Because, like I said, I'm a business person. Shout out to my mom, Isha, because she was very supportive. But if you're in a Nigerian household with a Nigerian daddy, you know the vibes, right? The second thing I discovered is that I'm the first daughter who has had to be a mother to my siblings since I was like 6 years old, right? African parents take so much pride in having children, so many children for their other children to raise. And the gag is that they don't even raise you well enough for you to know how to raise anybody, right? I started assuming responsibility for my siblings since I was maybe 5 to 6 years old without any training whatsoever, because you guessed it, my parents were too busy surviving, and they didn't grow up in love. And that's the thing. You can't give what you don't have. And dysfunction only births deeper dysfunction. This whole thing just created a sense of responsibility within me that was toxic. One that made me think that it was my job to save my family, especially at my own expense. I didn't get to be a child. I didn't get to have fun. I didn't get to really enjoy my childhood because I was too busy being responsible for so many other siblings who I love with all my life, right? That's why one of the things I'm most grateful for at this time of my life is that I'm single and I'm child free. Oh, God's timing is truly the best, you guys, because I cannot imagine having kids to prove anything to anyone or to hold on to the children as my accomplishment in life, because my own life is so messed up and I didn't accomplish anything. I cannot imagine getting married because I'm looking to escape a life of responsibility in my father's house, only to now end up in greater responsibility in trying to build a home. I cannot imagine getting married because I'm trying to show society that I am productive, I'm doing things at its idea of a right time. I cannot imagine having kids because people are saying at my age it is something I'm supposed to do. God has put me in such a place where I can really reflect on these things, what it means to be a mother, what it means to be a wife, and not half-ass these things simply because society has decided I should be in this place. Oh my God, you guys, one of my greatest joys at this time is that I am single and I am child free. I never think of it as something I'm missing out on. I never think of it as something that I have to already do. I used to in the past until God cleared my eyes and I saw that, look, marriage, raising children, it's hard work, right? I'm so thankful to God that my idea for marriage has evolved into this thing where I am committed to building a very beautiful life for myself. I'm committed to healing from all my trauma so that it ends with me and I can start a new life with my partner as partners, somebody who has also built a beautiful life for himself, so that when we merge our beautiful lives together into a conglomerate, we will have bigger and better. We will have a fuller, richer life together. That's what I think of when I think of marriage. When I think of raising children, I think of being fully present, raising my children by myself, not outsourcing child raising, not outsourcing these things. When I think of raising children, I think of raising grounded individuals who are wholesome, who are whole, who have confidence, who have a healthy sense of self. Children who are not timid, who are not afraid of anything. And it takes a lot of work to raise children like this. It doesn't happen by coincidence. And this time where I'm child-free and single, it gives me enough perspective to really, really think of these things and break away from what my parents thought about these things, the values my parents tried to pass on to me as far as these things are concerned. So I'm very happy. I'm in a very beautiful place. And my own responsibility at this time, I'm having the time of my life. And whenever God wants to do his big one, when he sees that I am ready to take on the responsibility, the ministry of marriage and children, hey, I'm up for it like mad. But until that time, I want to really, really enjoy my life, especially because I'm also unlearning my dysfunctional perception of black tax, right? Now, I love my parents more than anything in this world. I love my family more than anything in this world. And even though my parents were deeply flawed and still are in so many ways, I deeply adore them and I deeply love them. And it's not out of obligation. I quite like them. I quite love them for who they are as people. I mean, away from the dysfunction, they are maybe the coolest adults that I know. And they taught me so many beautiful things I deeply love about myself. For example, my daddy is the most honest person I know, one of the most honest people I know, even to a fault, and he passed on that trait to me. Right, my mother is the sweetest, most empathetic girl in the whole world, and she taught me the strength and the value of staying soft in a world that contends to harden your heart. I'm saying all of this so that it is clear that multiple truths can exist at the same time. And holding my parents accountable must not translate to me being bitter, malicious, or subscribing to unforgiveness. You guys, unforgiveness is whack. You don't do it. Now, the fact that my healing process entails me calling out my parents' toxicity and dysfunction is not for the purpose of bashing them or entertaining snide comments about them. I deeply respect and honor my parents, and not even my honesty can do that. God saw it fit to make me come from them, and I will always honor God for His wisdom. I will never hold malice in my heart against them, and that's just me, right? I strongly believe that you can call out dysfunction and toxicity without necessarily villainizing people who genuinely do not know better. Where the case applies, because some people are feeling like mad. But with every scenario from my past that I have given you, you'll find something pivotal, and that's where I'm going with all of this. Right? No expression of negativity or dysfunction or toxicity within you just happen to exist in you for no reason. No expression of negativity or dysfunction within you just happen exclusively by your own doing. You are a product of the society around you, you're a product of your upbringing, and you in turn will influence society through your actions and your choices, whether it is positively or negatively, right? So it is important to trace these things back to your very roots, not to apportion blame to the ones who raised you, the society around you, so that you can now avoid accountability. I'm not teaching you that bad thing, I'm not teaching you that thing. I am saying let's go back so that we can deconstruct ourselves to identify a fundamental truth. And this is it. It gets to a point in your life where a shift occurs from things that have happened to you, what is beyond your control, and what you keep on subscribing to or choosing actively. You cannot continue to blame the ones who came before you or the society around you when you continue to choose negativity and toxicity. It gets to a point. Also, if you have a past that is as turbulent as mine, it has a way of coloring your perspective of your entire past and clouding any iota of positivity that exists to the point where you cannot find any positivity in your roots. And that simply might not be how it really is. You can't tell me there aren't any positives in your past. There are good things that you can still hold on to. It doesn't have to be all dreary, I promise. So I am exploring my past to find the good, the bad, the ugly, and how that has affected me thus far. Especially because I need to separate who I am from things like where I come from, what I have done, etc. etc. My ultimate goal is to find the raw beauty in myself that I have neglected or abandoned or not discovered because I've been so busy surviving. Those parts of myself buried under dysfunction, those parts of my inner child that can be saved and soothed, you know? After I finish exploring my past, I will move on to the present. And for this, I'm going to be asking myself questions like, Now, the goal with this set of questions is to explore the truth of how I am now, not as I hope to be or desire to be, but as I truly am, as honestly and truthfully as I can. Now, this is not the time for the Lulu, because if I deceive myself, I'll be the greatest fool to ever foolish in this world, and I cannot afford to do that. If I'm to create a better future for myself, then I must properly analyze my present. If the world is deceiving me, if everything is set out to deceive me, I must not deceive myself. So this is not the time to be delusional. After I finish analyzing my present, it will not be time for the future. Now, this is actually the time to be delulu for the solulu. Here, I will give myself the grace to stretch my imagination far and wide. The way I'm trying to stretch my bands, I'll stretch my imagination. I'm going to ask myself questions like, now, after all of this is done, I've analyzed my past, present, and future. I'm going to now carry out an audit of the different aspects of my life at the moment and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 so that I can identify the things I need and use the information I'm gathering about myself to improve, change, and make peace with the respective matters and build my identity from the ground up. To carry out this audit, I'm going to divide my life as it currently is into different categories, right? And I will rate them 1 to 10. Like I said, 1 is the lowest, 5 is average, and 10 is the highest. These categories are going to be things like health, finances, career, relationships, spiritual life, mental well-being, home environment, confidence, skills, fun and adventure, right? So I will rate all these are the different categories. I'll rate them 1 to 10. The first thing I'm going to do is just to give them a rating. I'm not going to do any shalaye, I'm not going to do any explanation. I will just rate them first. After I finish rating them, I'll now go back to explain or justify each rating and find out what small improvements I can make at this time to improve the things that need to be improved and to change the things that need to be changed in this present moment, right? One thing I also want to do through this exercise is to visualize what the best aspects what the best versions of these aspects of my life would look like and write them down for inspiration. I currently exist in a world where nobody has the kind of life that I want, and it's not because people don't have truly beautiful lives. I recognize that everybody has their own path and their journey, and I celebrate it without making it about myself or what I want. And that's why I say nobody in this world has the life that I want, right? And that's pretty much it, to be honest. What do I expect from doing all of this? First of all, I expect that I will grieve the occurrence and the existence and the loss of so many things as I carry out this exercise, but I came prepared. I just restocked tissue paper. I stayed ready so that I did not have to get ready at a time like this. Now, truthfully, I expect to confront myself and be shooketh. I am committed to taking accountability for my own shortcomings, and thankfully I have the Holy Spirit to hold me through the entire process and guide me into all truth. It's very important that I must not take things so personally, and it is very important that I accept my humanity with an accountable and honest heart that refuses to let defensiveness ruin such a pivotal moment for me. I also expect to become a beginner again and to fully accept that this will be a marathon and not a sprint. So I must take my sweet time as the Lord gives me grace and strength, right? The beauty of all of this for me is how deeply and intentionally introspective this whole journey is going to be. So even when I answer all these questions now at this time, I know for sure that I will find even more answers as I go along the way, and it's just perfect for me. It's just beautiful for me, to be honest. Now, if you can relate with all the things that I have said, you don't need permission to join me. Again, we can make this a group project. Just do as I do, and we'll be on the same page. Okay? You're welcome. This is a group project. We're building our brand new Spark from scratch. If you made it to the end, yay! You are the realest, you are the baddest, and I love you. Take. I have a flower for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I noticed that many people watched, but many people did not share. Please share. Always share. Share. It's good to share, okay? God loves a cheerful giver. So please share this post. And yeah. If you love me too and you are wondering how to support me, like I said in the last episode, it takes money to build a brand new Spark from scratch. And this is how much I'm trying to raise for this project. You can always pray for me, right? Pray that God continues to give me the strength to stay the course and to just really go through this process with all the honesty that I can muster. That's very important. Just pray that God continues to embrace me, that God continues to give me grace and strength and hope, right? If you want to support me financially, I'm trying to raise this. This is my budget for this project, building a brand new Spark from scratch. Now, this budget entails so many exciting things that I cannot wait to share with you that will be of benefit to other people as well. So here's how much we are trying to raise. You can support me by buying the stuff that I am selling at the end of this episode, or by just dashing me money, by just sending me money. Really, my birthday is coming. All I want is money. That's all I want. I don't want anybody to be creative. I don't want any. I just want money, guys. Please, hearken to my humble cry. It's money I want. That's all. Period. So you can donate to this initiative. Until next time, guys. Bye. Thebomb.com. It's one of my best sellers. Every time I give this out as a party favor, people are always asking, when can we buy it? When can we? Okay, now is the time. Now is the time to know who got the money. It's the time to buy this oil blend, you guys. Get into it. So we have 200 ml of oil of gladness going for 7,500, and we have the 100 ml going for 4,000. Get into it, you guys.